Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the Vault. Trust Christian O, not to control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live or listens in the replay. So always appreciate it. This is the Vault, episode 350, blockchain and kryptonite. Definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in live. Once again, listening to replay. Anybody that shares it, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button because we always want to just increase the listenership through the algorithm. So just feel free to hit the like and subscribe button just so you can get the notifications of when we go live. This is a live pop-up episode. This is episode 350, blockchain and kryptonite. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about it. This has obviously been a long awaited episode where people had these questions for years now about this crypto question. And so we're going to just talk about it today. Just because it's a long awaited, everybody wants to talk about this. We actually went to a conference and uh, really got a chance to, go back into the crypto, hear about the crypto conversations that are being had. So, went to an event, uh, not necessarily around high net worth investors invested into crypto, but crypto conference called Crypto Nite, Miami, uh, Florida. They had an event, and so we're just gonna talk about today what we got from the event and what sourcing of information has is reporting market sentiment. This is not to be intended to be financial advice. It's not legal advice. But we're going to pose the same questions that we pose to the so-called experts. Because when we talk about an environment, you're talking about money. These people are talking about what they call fintech. That's what it's called, financial technology. These people think that they're creating something new, and it's almost laughable. But we're gonna talk about the mindset of the investors, what they call investors if they're traders. For the most part, there's a market sentiment that at least 60 to 80% are traders. They're not investors, which is about right. The banks hold over 80%. They're in the top 20. The investors that have got in and created these companies, they're still the investors. The people that are developing the technology, creating these companies, they're the investors. Everybody wants to call themselves investors. So this is not financial advice. This isn't legal advice. We're talking about the sentiment of the marketplace where you have these experts that are in the front of the room, which at this point, they're not experts, ladies and gentlemen. You want to talk about expertise. Expertise means you are just that. You damn near know everything about it. You're not missing too much. You're not missing the 80% that the audience is missing. You got 80% of the information. You know 80% of the truth. That's what the experts are supposed to know in the front of the room, right? So then we get in these rooms and you start seeing, you start hearing the information gap, the cross border information gap. What are they talking about? Do they not know that they're giving legal advice? First of all, it's a fintech environment. It's finance. It's money. So if you're giving a finance which is considered financial advice, you are to be held liable. How many of these people have been held liable for a company going under? The environment preaches transparency for all the new people that haven't lost their shirt yet. The environment preaches transparency, correct? If the environment preaches transparency, why is it that the creator of the first coin, that pretty much is considered the Berkshire Hathaway, the $1 trillion company, quote unquote. It's not, but the most money in it. You can't even find the guy that created it. We sure we're gonna have people talk about the white paper, the purpose of the first coin. We can talk about that, but the point is, they preach transparency, but the so-called founder of the first coin is missing already. No accountability in the environment. But people want to say, oh, the environment is supposed to preach accountability through the ledgering and through the public ledgering. It's the ledger. We're supposed to keep it, is it private or public? Well, there's a public and a private. What, in the business? The LLC? The C Corp that's filed in the United States? You think they won't have to report if you're a what? Brokerage. So let's go through the gambit now. So we see all these newbies and novices come in through these apps. They're literally an app, and then they're not even real legal brokerages. What makes you think you're not gonna get a 1099 when you are making money and cashing out? What makes you think that? Appreciate Carrollton, Ohio for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Carrollton, Ohio for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate Mississippi for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to drop into the chat where you listen live, listening to replay from. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in live, listening to replay. So as we continue, are you a trader or are you an investor? So they're trying to label investors as the ones that are holding these coins, holding these so-called digital assets longer than a year. Are you holding or are you trading? Oh man, there shouldn't be any so-called ramifications from the alphabet boys. What are we talking about here? Is there an implication if you're trading? And then everybody comes in the room, and when you're dealing with unaccredited investors, you're dealing with the public information. Well, everybody has a different scenario, so we don't know what entity you should be in. We don't know what entity you should be in. It depends on your situation. Well, you got people from different countries that are looking to do crypto. Do they open up an entity in their country? Do they go to the BVI? Where do they open up another entity in another country or jurisdiction other than their home jurisdiction? What about the people in the states? Do you open up an entity in another state for specific reasons? Oh, and this is always the misnomer of all myths. Well, it's different for everybody's situation. Why? They're all investing, putting money into something. Pretty much, it's either in their name or in an entity. It's business. So the ones that haven't made any money, or quote unquote, haven't really lost any money, they're not doing it through an entity, through a business. Because they know that they're trading. Because it's a business. Trading is a day-to-day business. You may not be a day trader. It could be a week trader. We saw someone in the front present that, oh, we don't do day trading. We do, trades for a few days to a week. Well, okay. That means you're now giving financial advice. How? Because you're telling people what you're investing in and how they can do it. All they got to do is what? Go to this website, sign up. They fill out this form. They put their money on. And then bam, it's supposed to go up, right? Because we're in a bull run. This is what they're saying from stage. We're in a bull run. Everything's a bull run when it's a new market. It's been a bull run, right? They haven't called the recession yet for it. 2 quarters in a row of dropping. Or has it? 2 quarters. In the States. 2 quarters of a negative. When was but they can say this. You want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all don't want to hear this. See, when you go to the conferences, these people who are on stage, they pay to get there. These people pay to be on stage. This is all about marketing. We were sharing with some of our private investors. We have no problem with saying this is another Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme. Oh no, did he just shoot down someone's livelihood? Someone's development of the technology? Did he say it was a Ponzi scheme? What about it is the Ponzi scheme? Well, we already know what the coins are. They're not legal tender. They're not a legal asset, correct? Are they legal or are they illegal? Oh, we can't have that conversation? Why the hell we can't? Are you investing in something? Are you trading something that's legal or illegal? Oh man, I don't want you to say it that way because it's just not really regulated to the level of a normal stock security because it's supposed to be decentralized. DeFi. They got all these damn four-letter words. DeFi. FIFO. Oh, they got all these different terms, right? But guess what? When we sit in the room, how many people over here reporting that they made $250,000 doing this? How many people reporting that they doing $250,000? How many people reporting that they're accredited investor off of this? How many people really are reporting that they are accredited investors off of this so-called crypto? They're not reporting it because they say it's no need to report it, right? Why? Because they're trading. They don't want to tell you all this, but they're trading. They're looking like the modern day sugar fiend. You go from one sugar derivative to something else. Appreciate Palm Beach for tuning in live, listen to replay. Always appreciate Palm Beach for tuning in live, listen to replay. Where do we start? Because there is no end to the foolery. Do you see big fish operating in their personal name? Do you see big fish in this space operating through entities in other states? Do you see them operating in entities that are in other countries? Why is it that they had someone speaking there from Bermuda? Why do they need people from the BVI speaking at these events? Why do they need people speaking at these events? They need people speaking at these events because this is how you build up the clout, as the internet calls it. It's called clout. So they're building up clout. They're building up the hysteria. They're bubbling the market. They're the ones willing to lose their shirts before everyone else is. Sure, we could call them the early adopters. We could call them the innovators. Crypto this, crypto that. I see it everywhere. You want to know why? Because it's a marketing scheme. You got to have marketing behind whatever coin. You got to have marketing behind whatever technology. You got to have the marketing. What sales do they have? Are they real companies? No, you're just putting capital in based off of perceived value, right? That's where we are. A perceived value marketplace. Well, yeah, it's speculative. We know that. You're going to hear this, and we cannot say for a fact, not one person in that room, other than an accredited investor, talk about the fact that their money, the money from the crypto, can go in a bank account that's almost registered in the United States. And they were with JP. JP Morgan has reported that they are holding accredited investors as custodial accounts when it comes to this space. They've already reported it. They've already stated it. So they're not hiding from the Alphabet Boys. They are being very transparent and saying, yeah, we're holding accredited investors portfolio. And who knows at that point when we talk about it from a jurisdiction perspective, when you talk about how are you holding the account now? Oh man, nobody else said that they was pulling the money down into an American bank account. Everybody likes to say that they can pull the money down, but from what website are you pulling the money down? Oh, we didn't talk about that today. We didn't have a bank at the event because usually banks sponsor events, right? Right. And it's a fintech event which deals with financial technology, correct? Right. But there were no banks sitting there. JP wasn't sitting there, right? Because they don't need to be. They're dealing with sophisticated investors. They're dealing with investors that are reporting that they have $250,000 worth of crypto minimum, or they're talking about having $1 million in assets and they can afford to lose 50, 100, $200,000. These are the people that are able to report what they're doing, and they're being custodial through a big bank, IB. So when we talk about the everyday banks, for the people that are making less than a quarter of a million, what are you doing? Oh man, I can't believe it's really that way. That's what it is. There's no, we haven't met one that was pulling it into an American account because the Americans, the banks, are not accepting deposits from certain companies. And they've shut bank accounts down from that. But oh no no, trust Christian involved. You know, we had $100,000 try to come in the account. We had a $200,000 try to come in the account. We had $600,000 try to come in the account. You know, we were looking to cash out, and they froze it. They did that years ago. This is actually, now that we think about it, it's a great analogy of a great industry. If you never knew about it, this is one of those things when the feds came in and bust down the poker industry some years back because people were playing online poker. They were trying to figure out internet laws to regulate it. So what did they do? They pushed the online playing to the casinos. So you couldn't really just go through a third party website. You had to go through uh, uh, you have to go through a casino now. So if you want to play online poker, these online games, online gambling, things of that nature, they've kind of funneled it to the casino websites. But you can see other industries still popping up out of it, you know, whether it's fantasy football, things of that nature. But you all can see, if you're familiar with it, which we're very familiar with the poker shakedown years back, where there were companies that were even possibly domiciled in the United States and it didn't matter. They were getting paid. People were playing online poker. They have fees. And that was that. And people were playing online poker, and this was a black market. This was billions of dollars through the black market. These people think they can report $1 trillion in one industry and not know that there are $1 trillion markets moving every day. Whoa, this is just the crypto. And it's so early. We're just reporting that it's so early. And it's $1 trillion. There are stocks on the stock market that are worth $1 trillion. What are you bragging about? It's $7 trillion. It. Do you not know who Tesla is? Do you not know who Apple is? Do you not know that they're $1 trillion equity valuation companies? They're one company on the stock market. And you're talking about an industry of trash, of marketing. What they call them? Memes. This is one of those things people say, well, I can afford to lose a couple $1,000s. Think about it. You know how easy it is to steal a couple $1,000s for millions of people? That's what's going on. Oh, it's not theft. Yeah, it's not theft. So if it's not theft, what is it then? When people are not able to cash out, are you able to cash out? Well, is there reporting with the cash out? We sat in a room today, the accountant. So when do they need to report certain things? Well, there's a few years out from regulation. There's a few years out from regulation. So what do you do in the meantime? That these companies are collecting data and they're pretty much trying to be publicly listed companies. So they're going to have to report to the states because they're doing business in the states. They're taking money from people in the states, right? Right. So they have to report that. Did we forget about that? No, they don't have to report that. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean they don't have to report it? What are they not reporting? Are they reporting small transactions, or are they reporting that they're a financial intermediary, that they are having transactions go through their company? Now these companies want to be called what's called a broker, right? They want to be called brokers, right? Right. That means they got to report like a major bank. They're a financial institution. They're a financial intermediary, correct? But oh no, no. We don't want these companies to be a financial intermediary, do we? Why would we want them to be a financial intermediary? Then that means they're going to report, correct? Well, yeah, they are going to report. When? Are they reporting now? Because these companies are collecting what? Billions? Going through their websites? Are they a financial intermediary? Clearly, they're a financial intermediary. And they're doing it because they're doing the same style of transactions over and over. So are they a servicer? Are they a broker? You all have seen the companies already. What happened to the one company? And this is the worst part. The charlatans are in full effect. They say, okay, what are these people thinking? They tell you that you can just go into these companies and it's going to go up? Is that what they're saying? Appreciate the Bronx, New York for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate the Bronx, New York for tuning in live, listening to replay. The marketplace thinks that it's okay, in this particular marketplace, to say that people are investors. And really, how are you an investor and you're not getting a return? These people are what we call traders. And it's unfortunate because they don't understand you got to treat it as a business now. And they got people speaking on stage at these type of events. They got jobs. They're working a job and they're trading. Y'all don't want to hear that. Because then when you sit there and you hear them say, I got a job and I'm trading, what are you going to say? You're not qualified to speak. Because people that are living off of the trading, when you're making $250,000 plus, you're called a professional investor. Now you're qualified to speak because you're professional. That means you win more than you lose. And you can live off of it. But how many people in these environments are living off of the capital that they're generating? They're just sitting and parking their money. And, some people might not want to call it an investment, but it's that. It's just that. They're developers, actually. They're developing the technology. They're trying to get pennies on the dollar with these coins. People are trying to talk about this. Oh, I'm getting in at 0.00, 0.000, and whatever. You're trying to get in before it takes off. Well, what do we know about that on the public side? Already, it's just called founder stock. Usually those people don't sell out until the company's 100x'd. 100x'd. Maybe some people say, oh, it's not 100. We're going for 1,000. 1,000x'd. That's founders. How many people are trading out of positions, though? So they're not just sitting in the stock. They're not the investor. They're trading. This is why we have the trading course at the Vault with Cornell the Trader, because that's a great thing. People are generating capital. They are growing capital, because that's what you're supposed to do as an asset manager. They say that these things are digital assets. So if it's a digital asset, you all are actually some of the infancy traders. The unfortunate part about it is most of these people haven't been in for over 4 or 5 years. Some of the people say, oh, well, I've been in this space for this long, but how long have they been trading successfully where they haven't been losing capital? Most people say, oh, I just got back going again because it's starting to go up. So yeah, it's pretty big predictable direction, correct? Then you got so much lack of information. There's difference between accredited and unaccredited investor. So when we talk about an accredited investor, we have to know that they're able to get access to certain style of documents, of training, of information to be able to protect themselves in this eco space. Why? Because this is actually for the early adopters. Usually early adopters have capital to lose. They have money to lose. It's not like they want to lose the money, but they're willing to bet the kitchen sink on it. Whereas you think about it, are you willing to bet your kitchen sink on it? Oh, well, they actually try to throw celebrities out there. This celebrity said this, and this celebrity said that, and this celebrity endorsed it, and this person that does this. It's like, okay, but what do you know personally? There's definitely a high level of lack of research on the what they call retail investor side, someone that generates under $250,000 a year. I mean, to even hear the tax advisor that was at the event say, well, if you make less than 80 combined married, there's different tax liabilities or different implications. Well, if that's the case, who's only making 80 that has the ability to minimize their liability that much to where, okay, we're not going to do 80 individually, we're going to do 80 as a couple. And then there's minimal liability. Whereas after that, we got to deal with it. And then guess what? If we make over 400,000 with this, for right now, we might be paying 40%. Well, that means half of what you just generated was going to be taken. Almost half. And they think that they're only paying 40% in taxes when in all actuality, don't you live your regular life? Don't you pay taxes on sales tax? Don't you pay taxes in these other areas of life? Yes. Then how are you only paying 40%? But that's how you know that you are just a cash flow slave. These aren't investments. These are businesses. But how many people are carrying these things, carrying these entities, carrying these projects as businesses? They're still living their lives as employees. Oh, this is just a side project. This isn't something I can make so-called billions off. The ones that people say that are making billions, where are they at? Where are the ones that have said, I'm all in for a billion? So the guy that created the largest coin right now is missing. Lack of transparency. So the industry is a lack of transparency. They say, oh, well, we're building onto this blockchain, which they are. We're building this encrypted internet. And guess what? They're doing it through what's called the term the metaverse. It's over. If you want to profit off this industry, the opportunity is yours. Otherwise, it's a paper airplane flying through the air. And at one point, the winds are going to be strong and they're going to blow it down. It's a paper airplane. It's unfortunate that this paper airplane is like a little fly. But you know what flies are attracted to. And it's a fly flying around the room saying that, oh, I'm an asset. Look at me, I'm an asset. Once again, are you contributing to the development of the technology? Are you contributing to the development of the blockchain? Are you contributing to the development of the coin itself? What are you contributing to developing? When people say, "Oh, I'm an investor," they don't know the difference. That's why they're retail, and that's why they're going to get wiped out. Because they don't understand it's about education. The information is supposed to be pushing education, but instead they're pushing good, rich, quick. And everybody in the room is not trying to talk about the pink and the big elephant in the room, which when we call the tax liability that comes out of the situation. There's a tax liability in a situation, and people from different jurisdictions need to know how to deal with it. It needs to be clear. Instead, right now, they got this environment where people are almost looking like they're the criminals and they got jobs. They're investing their last hard dime savings. And you got these so-called professionals, whatever you want to call them, we want to call them what's called the experts. Because they call themselves the experts. What are you then? If you're not an expert, sit down. People are risking their last life and dime on this garbage. That's what's going on. Did he go there? Why waste your time? Well, because it sounds cool, and I heard my friends, and I tried to get in at a 3-digit number, and now it's a 5-digit number, and I know it's going to go to a 6-digit number, and I want to be considered the rogue of my friends, and I took 1,000, and I made a couple thousand, and then I went and I made a couple more thousand, and then somehow I lost thousands, I made thousands, and then somehow I got 1,000 sitting in an account somewhere, and I haven't liquidated. But I have put in some more money. I did lose some money, and we know where it's going. It's a bull market. It's the blah. People are building their livelihoods around a paper airplane. Who's the ones that are building their livelihoods? The ones that say that they're developing the companies? The middlemen are getting fat. Lawyers, accountants, they're going to get fat. They're going to make money off of the ignorance of the marketplace. Oh, we're going to develop a company. What company? Well, we don't know what regulation they're going to put in. Are they going to tax the miners as a broker? And we got to hear this garbage now, because somebody's got to get taxed, but we thought we were getting away from the central banking system. Really? Is this money? Yes. Okay, fair. Just remember, can you use another currency in the United States at a business? In most cases, you can't. Did you hear that one? When you go into the businesses in the States, you pay in that country's money. Now, granted, the dollar is so strong for these idiots. You want to know what they're called? It's called an idiot. To the highest degree. It's an idiot. This is what they said. Well, we're going to get these companies to accept this new currency that's made out of nowhere. And guess what? There's going to be what? No sales tax associated with it. They didn't tell you that part, did they? There's no sales tax attached to the number that owns the coins. Who's going to pay the sales tax? You didn't know that those are like base taxes in the countries? Well, I didn't think about that, Trust Christian involved. Never really thought about it because I only use dollars to buy everything, and they just usually pull the tax in. And what? Dollars! These are the things that the billionaires are already thinking about because they know what a damn dollar is. A dollar is the strongest currency in the world, at least as far as penetration around the world. These countries think that some little third world country has adopted a coin is going to make a difference when you got to convert your oil money into dollars. But because these people don't know anything about OPEC or they don't study history, they don't understand that guess what? These countries, let them be told, they're not pushing the needle. They're debasing their own currency. They're trying to use an alternative currency to their own currency. How smart does that sound, Americans? How smart does that sound? You're going to use another currency to debase your currency because you think your currency is going to run out. Because they're giving you this scarcity mentality. Well, it's only a certain number of the coins anyways. That's called scarcity mentality. You didn't think about that? That's a scarcity mentality. Oh, well, that's a artificial. Because guess what? The Fed just keeps printing on more money. But you got these people over here saying, well, the coin's going to go up. It's an asset. They're saying everything. Because it's a paper airplane. But what about the technology, Just Christian Revolt? It's got to be something here. It can't be a tchotchke. Why? It's 7 trillion supposedly over here. Okay. Do you want to know that there are other currencies in the world that generate hundreds of billions of dollars every day that you don't know about? They're equivalent to a coin. So are those countries going to debase their currency for a so-called limited amount?
And then not only that, the marketplace says it's decentralized. Whatever that's supposed to mean. It's decentralized, right? Why do they always have to cash back out into the currency of the country if they don't? Supposedly, they're adding up with a dollar sign, equivalent to a BTC. Sure, sure. It's like anybody creating a company. If you say your stock is worth this, that's what it's worth. And if people buy into it, do you know how the game goes? Oh, they say, well, the stock market is manipulated. There's no way the crypto can be manipulated. The banks are already in there. So what are you talking about? The banks hold the majority of the Bitcoin that you're talking about. Correct? Are you aware of that? You're not aware of that? You can actually go see who's the institutions have to report that they're holding this stuff. Right? Well, it's this emerging market. It's this emerging stuff, Trust Christian in the Vault. You can't tell me that it's not right. I got money in there. I put in 2, 3, 4, 5. I come out with 30, 40, 50, 60, 100. And guess what? It's still sitting there. Did you pull Coinbase into your American bank account yet? We can talk about it. Did you pull it in yet? Can you transfer? Supposedly, we're not. Then you got these guys that want to talk. They talk from every angle. Oh well, you're not supposed to pull it down into the bank and keep it here. And then that's when we talk about: are you an investor or are you a trader? Are you moving from one to the next? Are you moving from one business to the next business? How often are you moving from one business to the next business? How often? Everybody knows a coin, though. Was a coin a business, or is it a guy daggone just literally like we've already seen the pump and dumps. This is the worst part about the industry. The industry has been built on pump and dumps. The whole first wave is this is like the dot-com bubble. So you think he's smart, right? Oh, Trust Christian, you just told me the insider code. It's the dot-com bubble. This is before 2000. So we already going to see it. We already got the market mapped out on technical analysis like it's what? The stock market. Hold on, let's say that again. This is what they say in these crypto environments. We got the market mapped out. We know the life cycle of this coin. We know the life cycle, the technical analysis of this information. Oh, you do? Well, usually you get that from predictable things like the banks. The banks are predictable. They tell you where they have to put their money, so usually they're first. They can risk more. They risk, and you see their moves play out. Most people are not accredited investors to take those risks. Oh man, you can't tell me that, well, if the banks are messing with it, George Christian, that means I'm supposed to for sure go in now with it, right? I'm supposed to for sure go in with it. Uh, Once again, they're developing the technology. They're the ones trying to use the blockchain to track your transactions over the internet. So when you use these companies that really aren't brokerages, did you hear that? Robinhood, they weren't brokerages. They shut down the website when they had stopped people from trading on their website because people were moving capital. People were looking to get. They had these meme stocks. They had a meme stock. They went in front of Congress. They had to show face. Are you a brokerage? Do you really report like any major IB is or brokerage firm in the states is? Oh, well, you got Cash App. Well, when we're sitting in front of the tax guy today and he says, well, these are people that are facilitating transactions in or out of these cryptocurrencies. Clearly, they're a brokerage now. Technically. And the banks are right there. Because guess where they're getting the information from? The brokerages. from the so-called companies that you feel you can trust as a retail investor. Oh man, I could trust I could trust these brokerages companies. We're not even going to name these turd companies because that's all they are. They're trash. You don't want to know that they're trash. They're trash. These companies are complete, utter trash. They literally shut down the website. How many people got rich off the GameStop stock? We could talk about it. How many people got rich off of that stock? We know quite a few people that I guess they went in and they lost some money. Supposedly the hedge fund lost money. Y'all know where the hedge fund at right now? So not only did the company have to shut down, they borrowed money to cover the orders. Why? Because they weren't a brokerage, but supposedly they're acting like a brokerage. And that's why they went in front of Congress. Are you a marketing company who's selling off data to the hedge funds and the banks, or are you a brokerage? Because then you really can't be in bed with the banks. But they're not. They're selling their data because we know what the retail order flow looks like every day. We actually are doing data analytics on our customers. We know how much the averages of our average retail investor account is through crypto or not. We know it. So we're selling it to who? The hedge funds, the ones that wanted to bet against the retail trader. That's what happened when we call them the meme stocks or the meme coins or the meme. Now it's around marketing again. And so we just see that there's an abundance of marketing going on. And this is a joke. Because coming from the vault and Trust Christian in the vault, you got to get in front of some real people. People don't know if they're an investor or if they're a trader in this environment. That's sad. They're risking almost life and limb. If they could break out into a cold sweat and get rich tomorrow, they would. It's the lottery ticket mentality. Because people have promised them if you get in early, you're going to come out big. Ladies and gentlemen, do you all know about the dot-com bomb? The dot-com bubble? What was the market penetration in 2000? What was the market penetration in 2010? And what was the market penetration in 2022? 2020. What was the market penetration? Oh man, well, we got this market penetration now with the internet, and we got this market penetration with these websites that allow you to make money and lose money overnight. Right? Can't you become a millionaire overnight? Let these websites tell it. Can you become a millionaire in a year? Can you become hundreds of thousands there in a year? How long? Are you a trader or are you an investor? Are you just holding this because you're holding, or are you a trader because you're actually trading? This is the conversation that will not be had at the lower retail level. Because they're retail. They don't know the difference. They don't know institutional information. There wasn't even an institution advertising at the event. That says volumes. They are strategically watching your names against this garbage. This paper airplane. Everybody wants to wear high waters and show their socks off with their cool sneakers. And we want to call it a hipster environment, but it's worse than that because they're taking your grandmother's money. They're taking your aunt's money. All for the fact that I'm a really good coder and I can code an idea. It's a great theory. The theory behind it is that we're going to get rid of the banking system. And then, in 2050, in 2060, we're going to get rid of the banking system and everybody's going to have like a digital asset. Somehow you're not going to be using dollars anymore. We're going to be using digital currencies and coins, because everybody's going to try to come out with a coin. And then you see this company that used to be called Facebook. They tried to come out with a coin. Government came in and said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You got too much going on there. Simple as that. Did you see the Google coin yet come out? No. Because these companies understand the space. It's unregulated. They're making billions of dollars off marketing. Well, what do you think the other companies are looking to do? Make money off the marketing. We don't need to have hard, tangible, valuable asset. Why? We're getting paid through marketing. We didn't create anything that's everyday livable. It's not toothpaste. It's not a toothbrush, but it's over thousands of dollars. What do they call it? A digital asset. Wow, wow, wow. Well, well, well. If we haven't heard a Ponzi scheme before, you got to get in early. People still buy real estate to this day. The market's gone up, the market's gone down. They still get in real estate. It might be at a height in real estate, and people still get into real estate. But they're not gonna get into the coins though, right? Right, because we already see where this is going. It's definitely not real estate. Because real estate has highs and lows. Real estate has 30-year cycles. See, it's mapped out. Why? Because the banks give out mortgages. See, the banks run it. Oh, okay. So the bank's already in there. That's what you're saying. And since the bank's already in there, you know, I think we gonna just still get away from decentralized. Idiot! You have to understand that is how fast you can lose your wealth in America. That's how fast you can lose your wealth in America. You could lose your hard-earned so-called depreciating dollar. So-called depreciating dollar. So-called, right? Well, it's basic economics. They're operating off of this. This is what happens when you go to school and you get a college degree. You end up going to economics class and they teach you about supply and demand, and then they teach you about scarcity. When you get an economics degree, oh, there's a lack of this and a lack of that and a scarcity of this. There's a scarcity. Oh, cry, we can't ever make an alternative to this product because if we don't have this, who knows if someone smart's going to step up and create something new. And then they actually think that they created something new. We created a new money system. First of all, do you not understand that this garbage is built through a goddamn .com website? Somebody created a website that at any moment, just like Facebook shuts down, just like Twitter shuts down, just like any other website shuts down for mechanical repairs or not in the web, metaverse, so when people's website shuts down, hold on. Did the app shut down? They shut down the market with the GameStop stop, the AMC stuff. They had to do it. Why? Because they were a part of what's called market manipulation. Oh no, should these companies be able to do the market manipulation? Oh no, I mean, should they be able to literally, how can they do this? Who's really doing the market manipulation? Where's the market manipulation come from? It's coming from the banks. Well, that's why we need to decentralize. Can't you see the point here? Oh boy. Oh boy. Remember who we said is going to get rich. Who's going to get fat and do well financially, because they're going to get rich. They have no liability. They're there to do some number crunching, and then you got the lawyers. They're just going to go in and say, well, this guy, he didn't really know all of the law, so, let him off the hook here, or, how much do you really want government? Just take all the coin, just take the coin from them, What are they going to say? This is one of those situations where you say trust Christian involved. Can you tell me it's more to this? It can't be this. It can't be that this is real, that this is happening before my eyes, that we are seeing a Ponzi scheme happen in front of our eyes and no one's doing anything about it. First of all, the government is trying to create regulation. Guess what? These crypto companies are pushing for regulation. Did you hear that? Oh, you didn't hear that? Who do you think's lobbying to keep these companies in the position that they're in, or make it to where it can go for, you ready for this term? Mass adoption. See, these are the conversations that they're having in the room, but they're not. When you go for mass adoption, it means my grandmother can invest and she won't lose her shirt. She won't lose her retirement. There's protections in place for unaccredited investors, for retail investors. But we like it unregulated now, right? Because then we can go in and get these thousands of percents. And we can do all of this moving and jiving. And we can post these trades on the internet like it's real. They're posting trades on the internet. Did you know that that's illegal? Do you see the trades that JP Morgan's traders are trading? Do you see the bank's traders' trades? No, because it's private. So the guys on the internet almost look like a complete fraud. Why? Because you don't know what the bank traders are trading. Oh man, well, what are you talking about, George Christian? No one ever said that to me. Of course there's traders at the bank, and they're actually pros, and they're winning most of the time. They're the ones taking all the money from the retail investors. So how come they're not? They can't post their trade because they're doing something different. Oh really? It's called they're winning. Did you know you can build your account up and sell your portfolio to a bank? You just built a portfolio of stocks, equities, whatever, bonds, whatever, everything in the financial asset class, correct? Hold on. Remember, the IBs, the institutional banks, are already holding custody of these digital assets, supposedly. So what makes you think that they won't take the asset, buy it from you if they can in a portfolio, and collateralize it and do other things to have a stake in it? Because that's what they've done. Oh man, Trust Christian Evolve, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be a little bit different in the way in which, how I make money, how it make money, how money is made in it. Oh boy, we done seen it all. We done seen it all. We done seen it all. If you want to create a company out of thin air, say it's worth something, and launch it as these coins, as these guys are say that they're out here doing, we haven't seen investors get returns on money. We didn't see websites get shut down in the United States uh, that were in other countries, that still operate in other countries and are operating in certain states. So how do you deal with cross-border investing? Because if you can't do exchanges or money situations with these exchanges because they're in foreign jurisdictions, oh, I'm gonna go get a VPN or all this other stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, the companies that you're talking about, the foreign ones, we've already seen them steal a ton of money. We're not gonna name the countries because they're red flags anyways. Oh no. Well, we gonna deal with the ones that set up in close to the states. Okay, that's fine. Well, we're gonna deal with the ones that set in the states. And what makes you think they're not reporting? Oh man, they can't be reporting on me. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. They got a thing called the KYC. This is the reality. What are you talking about? Oh man, you're right. They did do that. It's called reporting. Oh man, I thought about it when I was doing it, and I knew, I was like, man, I didn't really think that it was gonna be what it is. At that point, I kind of had a red flag on it. Exactly. The AML KYC, know your customer. This is it. You better get hip. It wasn't non-disclosure. That was the disclosure that you are a public trader. You publicly got your hands in it. And if they give up any information, you can't be mad. Why? Because you gave it to them. The companies that say that they're not brokerages right now. Oh man, this company's not a brokerage. This company's not a brokerage. Well, what are they? They're not a brokerage. And that's the worst part. These companies aren't even saying that they're brokerages legally. And y'all thinking that they brokerages. And you're a retail trader getting your family's wealth stolen from you. It's a joke. It's a joke. Oh man, Trust Christian, what are you saying? It's actually a real industry. Ladies and gentlemen, how come there are industries that have been around for 100 years and you get this new money trying to talk like the internet is beating old money? Y'all think that new money is beating old money? That's foolishness. That's get rich quick mentality. It sounds good. Let it sound good. But make sure your family is not getting their wealth stolen through people over the internet. Oh man, it's the internet. It's the internet. It's the internet. It's gotta be real, man. This is celebrity endorsed it. It's gotta be real, man. What a joke. What a joke. Here at the vault, it's trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. You keep that with you. It's a keepsake. Because we even met investors at the event talking about trust. And then when you get the accountants or the lawyers and they could barely talk about the trust. Why? Because everybody's not moving the right. Everybody's not moving the same. What do you mean? Is it not a standard vehicle? It's not. So that's why expertise should be appropriate in education on the investor side. I mean, on the expert side all the time. They need to have a high level of education. And from what we can see, the education is null. It really is. People can say, "Oh, I'm coming in here." Literally, these people are coming up and giving a goddamn a sales pitch for their services or whatever. They're just giving it. They're good speakers at this point. That's all these people are, is good speakers in this environment. The people in this fintech environment, they know how to sell. I can promise you that. They can sell. They gonna sell you on something. They could sell you on something because you, as a retail investor, if you are retail, you don't know financial jargon. These people supposedly been the experts been in the field for a long time, right? Supposedly, right? I've been in it since 012. I've been in it since 16. I've been in it. I've been in it since 2018. I've been in it since 2010. I've been in it since 2005. Okay, and are you a billionaire? Because that's what you're saying. Is it not that environment? They couldn't even sit you in a room in most of these environments where at least half the room is making $100,000 a year. This is supposed to be the hottest industry since sliced bread, giving thousands of percent returns, but half the people sitting in the room ain't even got $100,000 that they pulled out in cash flow because it's not happening that way. Now you get a lot of people that are saying they're doing all this different stuff, purchasing this and purchasing that and doing this, doing that. Just remember, select few. So what's for a select few is not for everybody. That's how you know there's lack of regulation. Why? Because if we're working with a bank and we're at the same level financially, that means we're either accredited or not, we get access to the same almost information because we're in that environment. That's the difference. So if you're not making that capital, you're not generating those capitals through the companies, through the trading or whatever it is, you can see why there's a fall off. There's a huge fall off. People sitting in the room don't even know if they trade or they investors. This is like one of the most demystifying things. It's like, do you not understand the implications if you don't know both or know what position you're in? Y'all gotta understand, man. There's people from international jurisdictions. They ain't got what Americans got, and they risking it too. Oh man, this country's adopting it. That place is adopting it. They're trying to get this to be here and get this to be that. We'll end it on this. This is the dot-com bubble again. Who knows how long this BS is about to last? You already know what happened. Internet's been bubbling before 2000. Internet was bubbling in the 90s. They had internet in the 90s. They had internet in the 2000s. And it's not that they didn't have the internet. Did they have companies on the internet with integrity that weren't selling off your information, participating in market manipulation? literally participating in it. Like they're so you got this thing called the Nasdaq. So you got this thing called uh the S&P 500. So in 2020, when the market was losing value, the market hit these levels that the market actually shut down for a day or for a period of time on those platforms. So the Nasdaq said that these companies that are in their basket of stocks, they're not going to be traded right now. Same thing with the S&P 500 and other exchanges around the world because it's an exchange. It's called the Nasdaq. You can go to the exchange and buy the whole exchange fund, or you can go and do individual equities that are particular to that fund, which are Nasdaq fund, uh, what is that? S&P 500 fund, things of that nature. And there's other funds. A lot of people don't even have this level of education, so it's fine. We're fine. We're walking. We're talking to it. We're talking about the retail investor and being able to know that those things are securitized on the public side. But now you're seeing these companies say that they're brokerages on the crypto side. They're going to report. That's why they got the KYC. So we just wanted to talk to the people that say that they're in this space and they're moving their feet and they're tap dancing and they're doing all this type of stuff. And we're not discouraging, we're not promoting. This isn't legal advice, not financial advice. It is what it is for you. But it's not one of those things that we can sit here and just sit back and say, look, the voice of reason didn't speak out and say an idiot is speaking right now. An idiot is somebody that's working a job, talking about they're making money off of this, and they're speaking to hundreds of people and sharing the websites that they're using, the things that they're doing. Why? Because you're not a professional investor. Once again, we have to tell you all legally that's called professional advice. When you're telling people, well, if you use this website, these are websites that you can use to make money. These are websites that I'm making money. Do you not understand? Finance is actually something that's almost a private endeavor. It's a private endeavor for you to build wealth privately. But for some odd reason, these people are giving you information to websites that are telling you to do what? Report your wealth building privately. That's the difference between the vault, trustee training, and this public stuff out here. That's why you got to invest in your private education right now, not later. That's why wealthy people invest in education. So we actually give credit to the retail investors that were in the educational environment. Once again, it's not an issue with the retail investors, honestly. It's more of an issue with the experts. We have a complete issue with the experts in these environments that are purporting that they're experts at these companies. I mean, literally, you are seeing what's going on in the stock market right now happen in the crypto space when it comes to, oh, we built this company, but we haven't made any money yet. Uh, wow. Yeah, so guess what? When people say, well, what gives these companies value? The banks. The banks buy it, and then the retail comes in and gets a little bit. That's what gives these companies all of this value. $1 trillion valuation, $1 billion valuation. You get a $1 billion valuation from the bank. You get $1 billion valuation from VCs, from hedge funds, from angels. You get these $1 billion valuations. Okay, but at the same time, they haven't made any money. They got an idea. That's the age we're living in. It's paper wealth. They're living off paper wealth. And I can tell you right now, if you cater into any of that paper wealth garbage, I promise you, in 20 or 30 years, you're going to be wiped out. Think about it. They're trying to put this stuff in place right now. FinTech. So you can't cheat the financial system. It's not the decentralized anything. It's so you can't cheat the system through the internet. They understand that there's money moving around all the time, and they're trying to track it. But they want to sit here and say, well, oh no, it's not being tracked. How's it not being tracked? The company is a public company, and they got to report. Not only that, they're taking retail investors' money. Think about it. Don't you fill out a KYC? Yes, because they're taking a retail investor's money. That's why. That's why. That's why they're taking your information, because you're a retail investor. So if you lose it all, you can't sue them. I know what I was doing. Right. What a joke. And it's only disheartening maybe slightly inspirational, because they're stealing wealth. You earned that money. You work for that money as a retail business person, trader or not, in the marketplace with a job. And they built an entire industry on preying off the retail. Not at the stock and equity level. Oh no, they weren't doing it supposedly at that level, right? Right. Now we're gonna go market manipulate off of the social media stocks. That we could advertise on social media for less than $50 million. Sure. Let's advertise on social media. Let's go literally mess with an algorithm. You don't know people pay for algorithms? Appreciate Jacksonville for tuning in live, listen to replay. Always appreciate Jacksonville for tuning in live, listen to replay. You think they don't do that? You think these banks or these institutions or whoever don't have money that after they get the money from the hedge funds or the VCs or the angels to go out and market their coin, to market their so-called technology? What a joke. It's not even funny. This is new money, baby. These babies, these little babies, they get wiped out. Huh. These babies are going to get wiped out. Y'all don't want to hear that. We've seen the babies get wiped out already. They got wiped out when because it went to 20, fell back, right? Then it went to whatever number, it fell back. Y'all going to keep seeing these new babies, new money, get wiped out. And they filled out a KYC, so it doesn't matter. You're a retail investor. If you lose your money, it's no big deal. Because you didn't have it in the bank that was insured federally anyways, because you wanted to believe in this new scheme and scam called whatever they call DeFi. It's all, man, if you only knew that we are in capitalism, if you're in the States, and that's all about capitalism. That's all it's about. It's about making some money. And what better way that these tech, because really this is a tech scheme and scam, whether you know it or not. It's a tech scheme and scam to raise money for tchotchke ideas, for some goofy app, for some goofy token, for some goofy something that you're going to have in the metaverse. That's where the marketplace is right now. For some artificial reality. You don't think the techies are pushing for AI and AR? That's what they're pushing for. We're going to go ahead and give it to you first on the vault and let you know that the metaverse is all about AR. And that's all this is about. AR. Artificial reality. You're going to put on the Oculus. You're going to put on some type of Google, whatever. You're going to put on some type of little goggles on your face. And you're going to be in some artificial reality. Oh man, George Christian, I can't. I'm old, man. I'm not going to put that on my face. I'm not going to be in no augmented reality. They've already been field testing this for years. AR is available now. That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they say. We want to take the internet from 2D. Here you go. You heard it first from the vault. They want to go from 2D to 3D internet. You've been looking at the internet for 20 years now on 2D platform. Well, let's just turn the internet into a 3D platform. Right? That's the metaverse. Right. Give me a break. Are you serious? That's how you went. So it's like, remember when they had touch phones only and now they have no touch phones? It's just a screen. They actually used to have pads that you used to touch the keys on the phone, and now they have no screen. Well, now, we're going to move from the flat screen to the 3D. Wow. What an upgrade. We're going to do augmented reality too. We're going to put in something where it's your reality is you think something's there, but it's not there. We're going to go ahead and give you the greatest trick to make you think that something's there, but it's really not there. So you're going to put these goggles on. You're going to go into the metaverse where you're going to have a avatar for your life. And it's going to be able to know your habits. And, we're going to figure this all out as we go. And we're going to create tokens along the way. We're going to create what's called the blockchain. Because how do we build this new metaverse? How do we build this new metaverse? We got to build it on a more secure platform. The internet can be hacked. We got to put it on the blockchain. The metaverse. What a joke. It's not funny. It's pure, unadulterated theft. It's almost like saying, would you be okay with a politician in crypto? Do you think most of these guys are taking their salary in crypto? No. Oh, it's because they're old. Not at all. Not at all. You can be sitting at the table with the rest of the regulators and say, well, I'm taking the illegal stuff for my payment. Who's paying you? I thought the government pays the politicians through taxes and stuff. How do the politicians sit there and get a salary through the form of taxes? Which is okay. You're sitting there, you're getting some tax money to sit there and do your job. Okay. So how are you getting paid with the crypto though? How did that work? How are you the politician now? You're getting paid in the crypto. Who cut it the check into the artificial money that's not legal on the government side that you're sitting on the board for? This is how fast the buffoonery is going over. It's just stupid. It's one of those things we don't even care to talk about this garbage at the vault because when the vault we talk about hard tangible assets. The internet is not a hard tangible asset. People would like to think, oh, there's digital asset and digital asset NFTs. Oh, what are you talking about? Do we see the value in it? Here we go. Here we go. So, does the NFT create an online digital signature? Yes. And it creates the form of a copyright that you own? Correct. Yes, because they still have KYCs with these silly websites. Yes. Okay. So that website's sort of like a copyright office then, right? Right. So then your stuff's not even going to be copywritten with the US Patent or Copyright Office anymore. Why? Because we're going to just NFT it. We're just going to go through some website. It's going to be tied to one of these tchotchke coins. Y'all don't even know. Did you go to the conference and hear somebody say, well, it does these websites have issues with the exchanges and the monies and getting it out of actually and buying these coins and not getting these coins? I mean, we had people for sure sit in the audience and ask, what makes you think there are not scams where these companies, that's what's going on. That's why they're trying to create the blockchain to the metaverse. Because these early guys, they were able to get through with WordPress websites still. The GoDaddy websites. They were able to get through with those websites. The Wix websites. They were able to get through with those. Through a merchant account. With a bank. What are these guys really doing with this money that they're taking out of the marketplace for a shell? At this point, we already know if you're on the internet, your website's not going to be around forever. Hold on. What websites are? Especially on the marketing side, the social side. We understand that this was a different style of conversation compared to the people that are supposedly in this space, and they say they're developing the technology and all that good stuff, and we're talking to these people like real adults of a country. When you talk about tax liability, liability in general with the companies, you're pretty much saying that everybody in this environment is an investor or a developer of the technology. And if you are, there should be a level of accountability of how you're living your damn life. Because just like the lawyers have the Lawyers Association and the bankers have the Bankers Association, this right here has to happen now. Because we've seen way too many people start and they ain't finished yet. Meaning they ain't back in the game, they out. Not a lot of people are going to finish this internet bubble right here. This is a bubble. We called it at the vault. It's a bubble. It's unfortunate. We've seen it time and time again. If we want to say that it is pure market manipulation, well, you have to say that it's a speculative asset. It's dealing with a speculation. These are the things that they're not going to tell you on the website. But they're going to tell you, hey, if you just fill out this KYC and then, you put some money in and it takes about 2 or 3 days to transfer and, then you get to going and then you get to get crypto, right? What a joke. It's unfortunate. It don't matter if they took $100 out your family's pocket. Why would you be giving away a depreciating asset to a company that's not going to be around in years? And you know it. You know it. You want to believe that this company is going to continue growing. The social media websites that are big right now were not big 10 years ago. The ones that are truly big right now. Not 10 years ago. People think they can share stock information, trading information over the internet. It doesn't work that way. Making money is a private environment because they have it for accredited investors and unaccredited investors. Get used to it. Don't play yourself. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com for consultations. Still taking some trustees for trustee training. Look forward to connecting with the trustees in the training, but always looking to onboard trustees. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com.